All right, this is December 13, 2024, and I'm going to basically review what has happened in the market with a market update. Of I do it about maybe every couple of months or every month, more or less, for the past couple months. We've been tracking on this channel this bull flag, which finally reversed. Started seeing reversal here in September with a higher high here of a break, as you see of my cursor there, at around like 59k, 58k. And I'm using a new software or new settings to test out if I'm lagging on my streams, recordings, because it looks like I have been in the past. So I'm trying to improve that as well for the 5 followers that may watch this channel. I don't really have much, but anywho, this bull flag, which made a perfect Flagstaff to 100k, completed perfectly with the how a textbook TA would be. So that's confirmed already, but is that the end of the move is the question, right? So and I'm pretty much gonna do analysis pretty much live. So bear with me here if we're gonna really just take it a step at a time. So each bull market's about 4 years, right? After this COVID dip of last cycle, we rallied into about March of 2021, and then we had from this point, at this point here on 40k of last cycle, we had a rotation of Bitcoin into altcoins. So this was the move. They shove it into alts that have been a little lagging, right? Like anything on ETH and top coins like that at the time, like L1s, for example, just went bonkers. And that's exactly what I'm expecting this time around. But like, question is, why are we going to move up now, or why am I thinking that, whereas this could be the ultimate top, as some people may be thinking, like in crypto Twitter, for example. Well, every year is about a 4-year cycle. You should know that about now. Of course, it should change in the future, but as of right now, you don't fight the trend until it gets broken. Every cycle is a little different, but rhymes the same, right? So that's the peak of 2017 cycle to the peak of 2021. And in this recent cycle, we had a double top, but more realistically, if you want to count the pico top, the absolute top is 1,400 days. Now, if I measure that top to 1,000, about 424 days, of course, minus subtract some days because it's not going to be exact, right? It rhymes, as we just mentioned. We're looking at early October time frame. So we have plenty of time still. So that's one thing. Okay, so we got 4-year cycle. I put that mark because it's just a rough estimate. We have, of course, Trump winning, which is the best bull case scenario. He's going to, if you haven't realized, he said he's going to issue and hinted Bitcoin being a reserve asset in the US balance sheet, meaning they're holding for the long term, diamond holding. They're not looking to flip like perhaps you and me. So that's gonna obviously be a huge catalyst, as well as Trump equals bullish markets. And we didn't know at the time that he was going to be pro crypto, but he obviously has changed his tune. So crypto and stocks. So we are kind of playing with fire in a way. I mean that because, like, if you're not positioned, getting like in Bitcoin, for example, is not really the move now because ETH BTC is what leads from this point on to the end of the cycle. So, but more on that in a bit. Now, so those are like, that's already like two confluence. We got number one, the timing. Number two, Trump. And then we have interest rates cuts coming. You know, they want, their goal is 3%, right? So there's a long way. Like, we're at currently 6. So we have tons of cuts coming up. And you know, the landscape, not just Trump, but I'm just gonna put here plus Elon Musk, because they're like kind of a saving the world theme. If you see on Twitter, they're with each other in each other's, you know, Trump rally, for example. They go to boxing matches together. They communicate extensively. They're basically, the news has flipped now that, you know, BlackRock has been accumulating in this price range of 60K. They announced the ETF, right? And they started buying up here. As soon as they had enough Bitcoin, they let it fly. And then they flipped the script right at the Trump election day, or the day right after, as you see here, November 6th. November 5 was the election. And after that, we've just been basically up only. So we're not stopping anytime. I wouldn't say soon, but we're not stopping right now at 100K. So if you just do a FIP pull, we always do at least the golden ratio to even the 2.6 or the 3.618, and we have not yet. So let's do that FIB pull now. Make sure that it's in logarithmic here, check marked, good. And my chart's on logarithmic. You have to do both in order to get your pull, and that would be a 173K Bitcoin. It's very possible. Even if I were to do, well, for Bitcoin, since it is like a larger cap, I mean the largest cap, pulling the regular fib is much more conservative and realistic. But even the 261 is the 150K. So, you know, I thought this cycle 100K was minimum, but likely we'll hit something around like 140, 150K, you know. So plenty more room to go. The timing is there. There's probably more catalysts. I just can't think of any right now that's kind of like a highlight that I would like to keep on going with. So, I mean, I'd rather just move on to another chart. But yeah, it's looking pretty strong. You know, it's, if you just pull up your key MAs, I use like key MAs, the numbers that I like, and everything's in posture. Everything's in bullish posture. Where this is the lowest in order of the longest, and everything's in posture. So it's looking good right now for continuation. Historically, every Q4 is, especially in bull markets, is a 12%. And let me pull it up. It's actually on I saved it on my computer. As you see here, December, historically, it's a 12% increase. So if we do a 12% increase for the month, we started this month at around 96K. Pulling 12% of that is 108K. So I'm expecting that by this month for sure. One more thing before we exit Bitcoin for the chart. I'm looking at this fractal as well. It was December 15 or 16 of 2020. You see this massive candle after we started consolidating here. And this is exactly where we're at, like right now in today's time. We had like a Thanksgiving crash right here at Thanksgiving, November 26th. And kind of made like a W pattern, just consolidation. And then on December 16th, as you see here, we continued our up move for basically to start the alt season, a 23-day move. So again, after this price discovery moment, people started rotating from Bitcoin down into alts. Bitcoin dominance just started puking, and we had our altcoin rally. So going into today's time, with that in mind, remember what I just said. We had the Thanksgiving dump here, also on the 26th. So like give or take 2 days. We're consolidating below it. I mean, as far as all-time high, pretty much make a W, just very similar to the last cycle's November/December timeframe, and we are like 3 days from the 16. So, I'm expecting a move up, big candle on that day, which is Monday from this point on. So I can just mark it here. I'll mark it here for next stream, and we'll see what happens. And I think I'll be right. So now let's segue to ETH BTC. It's a very important chart that I analyze as well. Top 3 chart for basically anyone, especially since no one really plays with Bitcoin in large quantities unless you're playing conservative, or you have a lot of money where you don't want that volatility, or you play it super smart where you realize Bitcoin is like the best hold, like 80% of the cycle, whereas alts are only in this last part. So this green zone that I've marked is basically a line of action. Every time we interact with this line, as you see here, we either bounce really big, or we bounce really big on the bull side or the bear side. So I could even mark it over here as well. So it's just a big zone of price action. So far we're actually holding it, and we're looking like, as you see here, a bounce to the upside. If I look closer into the daily time frame, you could see a head and shoulders playing out, as you see here, left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. So you got that higher high here, breaking this structure here, confirming a break of structure. That's a micro reversal. And of course we have this high next to confirm like a higher time frame reversal. But so far so good, and it's in line with remember what we just analyzed. It was December of 2020. Let's see where the price was during that time, or for ETH BTC, the ratio. December 20 right here. So it made its bottom right here around that time of 16. Bitcoin just started going up for 21 days. Remember the time frame. So if we measure from December 16, we do the same measure move, 21, 22 days, let's say. And guess what? We had a reversal here at the first week of January. We broke this high, confirming a reversal. And as you see closely too, it's basically a what? Head and shoulders. So no matter what structure you want to put on, whether it's a head and shoulders, or if you don't even want to put that, you could just put a resistance here, like I said, of that break of structure into this higher low, right? Into higher highs. I mean, obviously you want to be in it here before it makes that high. So that's exactly what I'm expecting this time around as well. Maybe not going down for this 21-day period, because I feel like we already had this reversal. So in this scenario, in today's time, we are actually a little early with the ETH BTC, you know, give or take like a couple weeks. So yeah, ETH BTC should be rallying as it looks like right now, quite possibly even earlier than January, but you know, the latest should be by January. So that's why I'm expecting. So let's do a game plan. If things actually do happen as our analysis shows, what are we expecting as far as a time frame? So I'm gonna mark it here at the low at, this is the lowest it's been during that cycle, during that period that we're focusing on. It went up for about a month and a half, 40 days, let's say. Made a first top here at exactly like 30 days. And then it kind of struggled for remainder of like 10 days. But as you see here, the price kept on going higher much faster the first time around, and then it struggled at the end. So that'll be kind of the game plan I'm using. The first 30 days should be strong from the all-time low of this comparison, which in this case it's November 21. Let's do 30 days from that. That'll give us December 21. So we can mark that here. And then an additional, what was it, 10 days, maybe 12 days, give or take. We're looking at basically until January. That should be our first initial top. Just going by price or time fractal. We had a big drop after that for a good 2 months. And then after it's found its bottom, then it ripped to cycle highs. So that's exactly what we're looking at. They say don't time the market, but if you can do it correctly and not greedy, you'll be able to catch on massive gains. And just in case I'm wrong, of course, I could look for just market structure break. Like for example, here in the 2020 cycle, just going into the new year, we had a structure break here on the daily. This was the low, and we had a break right there. So if we have a break, that's my cue to rotate out. So not necessarily the time is the most important, but to look for confirmation on market structure break is the priority. So those are some dates to keep in mind. Could be later in January in case I have missed something, maybe February, March. But we are expecting a swing up imminently. And of course, I'll be looking for a break of structure to confirm that we're kind of cooling down. So that covers Bitcoin and ETH BTC. Bitcoin dominance is an inverse of ETH BTC. And as we see on the daily, we are just chugging down. It looks like we had a bit of a relief as of some days ago, but we are, I mean, this is like effectively what you call a 3 crow formation, implying that we're just going to keep going down. Like right here, this is a 3 black crow right here. This one's not as strong the recent days because we have already been down, so as well. So it's not, you can't go down as big because we've already, we can't, if you're higher up, you have more gains to give up versus when you're down. But it does look like it's going to keep on going down in my eyes. It might reverse for relief, kind of like 2020. And we'll just have to see. We'll just have to watch, and that would be a delayed ETH BTC as well. So that's why we are flexible in this channel, and we're not gonna just do everything with just purely a time fractal, as mentioned just minutes ago. So Pepe Doge, or Pepe to others. This is a chart that I look at very closely. I have been very deep into the Boys Club narrative. As you see here, every time we have basically a demand zone at the top of a... Okay, what is this chart though? This chart is Pepe to others, as you see here on the top as well. It means anytime this is going up, Pepe is a better hold than 99.9% of the coins. Every time it's going down, it means other coins are outperforming it. It doesn't mean when it's going down, right, that Pepe is not going up. It just means other coins are going up in value higher. So it's just a ratio to see if you have a good coin, essentially. And as you see here, just as a macro look, you have higher high, or high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and you have some higher lows here. So just generally speaking, Pepe, until this breaks down on a market structure break, for example, like in today's time right now, if it breaks down below this, that's a warning sign. It's gonna reverse, but don't fight the trend. Go with the data, right? This is the best hold. So I would be stacking Pepe during these low regions, and that's kind of that is exactly what I did. I told a bunch of people that are interested in crypto in my circle to buy Pepe around here within these days, and it's worked out beautifully so far. So as you see here, every time it goes into a demand zone of the previous high, like right here, it just catches bids. Generally speaking, you can't just use this chart only. You need other contexts like macro conditions, but this is a good chart as well. One of the top charts if you're really trying to get a good entry. So we just had this tap of the demand zone here that was formed from September, 4 months ago. We just tapped it and we are reacting above it now. So far so good. We broke this structure high here, confirming a higher high in the micro, and I'm expecting this to be the low of this micro pool. As you see here, let me show you. Let me get rid of this yellows just so we could clear up the charts and do not get confused. This prior high right here, it was about, you see these touch points, there's like maybe like 5 touch points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's valid touch point, that's valid demand zone. And we are so far, as of literally only the past 24 hours, good signs showing that we might reverse from here. So a better sign would be to pass this recent higher high to confirm that we're in fact trending up. Possibly making another higher high here, but I'm expecting to break this higher high eventually as well. So maybe we do something like this, and then boom. And then after we're above this all-time high, come down to it here, fill that demand zone again, and keep on moving up. So looking at PEPE's price, let's go ahead and do that and then wrap up the video. All right. Looks like I drew something recently. I think I was helping out my buddy here. I want to be on track with just what we can on this topic. Let's just ignore that. And let me go ahead and just talking with current prices. This big candle here was the listing of Coinbase. We ranged for about a month after that. We're still within that level, more or less, but we are essentially we're looking good. Let me go ahead and put this on a separate layout here so we could just focus a bit on PEPE. Okay. All right. I labeled it here. Buying climax, selling climax, AR, spring, because that's exactly what we're dealing with on a range, an accumulation range. Okay, let me show you. I'm actually going to pull up the Wyckoff chart, Wyckoff accumulation range, just so we could see this in mind while we look at these labels. I'm using this one effectively. Accumulation schematic number 1, selling climax into the automatic rally. We got some STs into the spring, and then the spring is like potentially lower, right, from the SC, and then we move on up with the LPS SOS into the BU. So SC, AR, spring, which is lower. So far we have a perfect match. Moving on back up with the LPS into the SOS into the BU. You see how perfectly that schematic works? Right there. Boom. I can just flip the screen back and forth so you could see. Boom. So I'm expecting this to be the low, which was 2 days ago. I'm not expecting us to break that. That is at 0.40216. So we are moving on up. What targets are we expecting in the near term in this time as of we filming this? We're looking at 0.00003, which is very possible. I mean, not just possible, but it's basically programmed. And then after that is the 2618. So that's something to keep in mind. So these two numbers are our next levels, okay? Basically at the 3 and basically at the 4, with 4 zeros in front of them. So I'm gonna stop the video here, but if you like the video, make sure to subscribe, like, comment. If you want any specific analysis, I'm open. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep posting my conviction plays. All right, guys, so have a good holidays, Christmas, and I will be updating the market as we go into the new year and get this alt season started. We're gonna make quite a lot of gains, and if you know how to play this right, not be greedy, you'll be able to not just make gains, but keep the gains. All right, guys, so next video, see you on the next one.